We're back finally, Pro Schmo Bets, and we're going to give you the bets, of course. 100% we're giving you the bets. Actually, we'll do it different this time. I'm just going through picks, and you arrange it however you feel. You'll carry that inherent risk in the matchmaking, all right? If you feel there's a particular edge, but I'll give you the picks initially on what I'm betting, what we are betting, and here we go, all right? Before I move forward, though, I do want to say that I've noticed there's a lot of leading cappers who have communities, large communities, medium-sized communities, and I think they're doing a disservice. Okay, I think it's very lackadaisical. I think it's poor of them to just tell you they believe so and so fighter has so and so ability without having watched tape. It's inherently clear they have not watched tape. If you're following somebody because you like them, that's cool, but make sure you understand, okay? And you tell yourself, well, I'm watching their videos on what sides, whether it's red or blue, they're betting on, understanding that it appears they have not even watched any tape on the fight, okay? So if you do that, then great. But, stop kidding yourself, right? All right, we're going to move on. Let's go. Here we go, UFC Perth. And we're going to open up with the prelims, all right? First, it's Loma Lookboonmee and Alexa Dainara. Of course, everyone's saying, wow, she's a great wrestler. She's got a good inside trip. She brings you down. She's got a good double leg, body lock. I mean, she's got it all. And Loma Lookboonmee did not look good against Estelle Nunes. Well, let me tell you, folks, that's not true whatsoever. She did incredible against Estelle Nunes. Do you see how big Estelle Nunes is? She's huge, fellas. She's huge. That's not fair. You do a disservice to Loma Lookboonmee. First of all, where is she at? She's in Thailand, training at what gym? What coaches? Exactly, the brothers, right? Everybody gets right in that gym, especially when you're Thai boxing. She's going to have, defense, 100%. And she has capabilities in the striking that Alexa Dainara is not used to. She won't be comfortable in, okay? Alexa will be back. She is very young, but she's not going to win a decision, especially on someone like Loma Lookboonmee, who's going to be outscoring her at every chance she's on the feet, maybe when she's grappling, scrambling. Estelle Nunes is tall, man. She's as tall as a tree. She's huge. Alexa Dainara is not as tall as Estelle, or does not have the boxing Estelle Nunes has. Okay, so whether she gets Loma Lookboonmee down, Loma's going to crawl against the wall, get back up, and she's going to win this fight, all right? Here we go. We got Brando Pericic, Alicia Ellison. All you need to know about this fight. And listen, I don't mind giving you the styles, the skill sets, the particular edge and advantage, and why. Maybe let's say there's a fighter who's a southpaw, but, his opponent isn't jabbing, so we don't have to worry. Or, in this case, Elijah Ellison, who is well-rounded, and Brando Pericic is not. And for reasons A through Z, all you got to do is send a DM. Send a DM. I'll send you the write-up for these fights. And 100% Elijah on the money line. Luana Carolina, Michelle Montag. Listen, man, it's like a theme here, UFC Perth. This grappler, wrestler, and Michelle Montag, incredible, man. Incredible. Luana Carolina, I get it. She has a takedown or two. She's relentless. She does not give up quite easily. But, hey, let's be honest, Michelle can strike as well. She's bigger, she's stronger, and she's much faster, especially as she chains her striking and her wrestling. And that, I think, is going to be why she will win this fight. Luana Carolina is not winning this fight, people, okay? And again, if ProSchmoBets.com, Instagram, send a DM, email, we'll send you the write-up, no problem. Colby Thick Knees, Josiah Musasa. Listen, Colby's just got to buy himself around on the ground. Okay, that's what he's got to do. I don't know if he'll submit Josiah's. That'd be great if he does. Can he outscore him, with top control? I hope so. Josiah Musasa's, we'll see. I think not even the UFC knows if, what could happen in round 3. And I think that's where it will be exciting in this fight. So, yeah, I do have it going over. I got Colby Thick Knees with edge here because I do believe that Josiah Musasa does not possess the scrambling needed to get up. All right. And Jamie Mularkey, Ronaldo Bedoya, kickboxer, Peruvian, jukebox with Diego Lima. We've seen him at welterweight. Way too short to be a welterweight. Jamie Malarkey, good for him. All right. What are we going to say? We've seen him grapple. We've seen him wrestle opponents. We've seen him knock out, as also we've seen him get knocked out. All right. I think Rolando Bedoya is due here at lightweight. I think he felt very good, relieved that although he was not translating the power he had at welterweight, all he needed was conditioning. I think he's walking into this fight, and guess what? That is one of our biggest bets on this fight card. Rolando Bedoya. Here we go. We got Jonathan Mikleff, Oban Elliott. You know Jonathan's got the pressure. Oban, he's relentless too with his wrestling. But listen, I think what it comes down to is the cardio. They both have no round 3 cardio. This is a great position, okay, for you to bet NFL, parlays, or hedge as you watch live. Okay, I repeat, watch this fight live, because as they go into round 2 or 3, you will see who's coming on and who figured who out. I do know that Jonathan Mikleff has a higher IQ range than Oban Elliott, okay? Especially with how he mixes it inside the octagon. I think this guy is incredible, okay? And I'm glad he's coming out he's coming into this fight to showcase that again, you know, as he did. I was at the fight. He fought. Incredible fight. But you can see it's very well-rounded. But round 3 cardio, absent. Very young fighter, too, so he's got time. Andre Petrowski. We have Cam Roston from Canada. Only because Andre Petrowski, 34, nearing 35, outside of his prime, primarily a grappler, and even when he grapples, he sometimes gets the short end of the stick. Why? Because he's way too thick. He's too heavy, man. His frame, he's just filling in too much, you know. But who knows? Maybe the speed or power doesn't translate at a low weight class, so he decided to fight at this weight class. Cam Ralston, his striking is quite choppy. He has an interesting strike sequence. However, what gives him an advantage is that he can grapple. He can match Andre, and because of his range, his height, reach proportions, he is definitely going to edge out this fight. So we have Cam Ralston on the money line. All right, again, you want the write-up, you want more information, all you got to do is send a DM, and we'll follow up. ProSchmoBets.com. Navajo Sterling, wow, another guy that has suffering cardio. Does he have the power to get Rodolfo Bellato out? He certainly does. However, unequivocally, you have Rodolfo Bellato, who can finish you, man, in any which round. All right, he's a meatball, man, this guy, you know? And, yeah, man, Navajo was not looking so well in the later rounds in his last fight. So it's Rodolfo early, Navajo cruising late. I'll take Navajo Sterling on the money line. All right, and then we have, but you should prop bet that fight. Find a prop you're comfortable with and stick to that. Can he put out Rodolfo Bellato? He's gonna have to ground and pound Rodolfo Bellato, okay, if he wants to put him out like that. You have, let's see, Tom Nolan, Charlie Campbell. I like this fight. Charlie Campbell, East Rockaway, New York. He's from the neighborhood. He's from Queens. And, you know, he was wrestling from a very young age. He's a neighbor, of course. You know, Charlie is very popular. He did attend a school that was, you know, the ethnic groups, different ethnic groups and races. And that's really good. You know, he understands the melting pot. He's very cultured. Highly aware of himself and others, and I think that's important because in MMA you have to have respect in these dimensions or portals of your art, you know. And I think that usually when I say do not bet fighters from Long Island, I mean it, all right? But in this case, Charlie might be the exception. I think his proportions mean well. And he's got grappling experience. He's got kickboxing experience. The guy's, you know, was grinding. He was hustling. You know, his high school didn't have wrestling, so he found coaches and he's got a lot of support, man. He went, from one wrestling gym to kickboxing gym to ends up at Ray Longo's gym, MMA, Cerro Longo in Long Island. And I like Tom Nolan. He fought with Eternal MMA. He's 25, folks. I mean, I'd be really surprised to see Tom Nolan win. I'm quite comfortable on Charlie Campbell, although, there is a risk inherent there. But Charlie's got the ground game that Tom Nolan does not have. All right, so with that particular edge, it has to be Charlie Campbell on the money line. All right, what do we got next? We have Louis Sutherland, Justin Tafa. Ooh, what can we say about Louis? Louis, man, another guy that could just get Tafa down. That's it. And the Scottish, the UFC loves them, as you can see with Chris Duncan. Here we go. Very strong, that guy. Well-rounded, too. And then here we go. Jonathan McCaleb. We've got through that. Jake Matthews, Neil Magny. We have a clincher. Jake Matthews has proved with Chidian Chikwani that if you attempt to clinch or you try to keep him at, a distance, if you want spacing and you're kicking Jake away, it doesn't work. You're either going to get knocked out or submitted. This is your lock of the year. Unfortunately, it is minus 500. All right. But had Neil Magny been 36, 35 years of age, we'd see Jake Matthews as plus money again. We actually bet Jake Matthews very big, plus 108 in his last fight. Jack Jenkins, Ramon Taveras. I like Taveras. He's got good boxing. He's plodding forward. He's got good head movement. Very strong. However, Jack is just going to chop those legs, man. Just chop those legs. And it'll be a much simpler fight for him. All right, so we got Jack Jenkins on the money line there. Jimmy Crute is going to outlast Ivan Erslan. Ivan has got good striking, but Jimmy is a brute, okay? And he goes through the rounds. All three, whether he's gassing out or not, he's coming up and he's coming forward. Whereas Ivan Erslan, he curls, like you saw, into a ball, center of the octagon. His scrambles, very weak. The transitions, horrible. Despite having a particular edge there in the early rounds. So again, we have someone with very poor, suffering round 3 cardio. Jimmy Crute on the money line, comfortably. All right? And then we have Carlos Ulberg. Man, everybody's going for Dominic Reyes. I understand it, no problem. But yeah, the striking won't be enough here. And if you're hoping for him to wrestle, he isn't. If he attempts, he's going to fail. The offensive wrestling differentials, the takedown differentials are terrible. No time for a camp now after how many, 35 years of age, 10 years in the UFC. It's too late. Carlos Ulberg, on the other hand, yeah, he's taken down grapplers, wrestlers. He's put out fighters. I mean, this guy's well-rounded, defensively well-rounded with his grappling, which is really good. I think that Carlos has better experience. He's fought better opponents, and he's going to win this fight. It's just the way it's going to be. Why? Because in the later rounds, as you would think, Carlos Ulberg won't have the cardio to get through. You have Dominic Reyes in the same, who will suffer in that 4th and 5th because of the ineffective wrestling attempts, takedown attempts. So we have Carlos Ulberg on the money line. We do have a write-up. Follow us at ProSchmoBets.com. Send us a DM, and we'll send it to you. With, again, coaches' names, where they're from, what that gym particularly conditions fighters for, right? Like we know AKA is dominant in the grappling, and what they do very well is set up their striking, whereas other wrestling gyms, right, other grappling gyms, they condition, they train to ensure that you can actually have a stand-up fight for 3 rounds, as you can also, if you choose to, have the option to grapple, wrestle, to roll for 3 rounds, right? These things are very important, how this dynamic comes about, okay? So, you heard it here first, ProSchmoBets.com.
You there ain't nothing I can't take this chainsaw to